This is breaking news.
Talent doesn't have a class, it doesn't have a race or an agenda. The fire these dancers have is from somewhere deeper. In a dance studio somewhere in the city center, a pole dancer, a singer, and a burlesque performer are all practicing their routines in the same room together. Rather than the potential setup for a low-effort joke, it's all part of the early stages of what could be one of the most riveting shows to come to Manchester in years. For 3 nights this month, June 20 to 22, the House of MCR show will, quite literally, take over Aviva Studios, the home of Factory International, with an explosion of dance, music, vogue, performance, and everything else you could possibly imagine. Curated by Ghetto Fabulous pioneer Darren Pritchard with the assistance of actor and playwright Rikki Beadle-Blair, the show has been described as something that's been a long time coming, and it's the biggest project that Darren says he has ever worked on. The planning stages for this have been going on for about 3 years now, Darren tells the Manchester Evening News amidst rehearsals for the huge-scale production. This is the fruition of all our other shows. It's a fully realized vision of all of that in the best possible way. With more than 20 years of experience, it's clear Darren knows how to put on a show, having helped Vogue outfit the House of Ghetto evolve into the Ghetto Fabulous collective, who can now be regularly seen on stage dancing with artists including Fatboy Slim and the Blessed Madonna. He has also contributed to the likes of Black Pride MCR at Manchester Pride and hosted catwalk extravaganza events on a national scale. But despite all of that, Darren, who grew up in a council flat in Hulme, says he still can't quite believe the level of attention that the House of MCR show has been receiving. Chances are that you will have already seen a billboard poster at your nearby tram stop or outside your favorite bar, whilst a trailer with high-scale production values also recently debuted to a positive response. It's a world institution, isn't it? Darren says of Aviva Studios. Maxine Peake has just been there, so has David Hoyle, and we're on the week before Adedoyin and the Johnsons. To be in the same mix as those legends is just unreal to me. At its heart, Darren explains that the House of MCR show will be a culmination of all of the projects he's worked on and the experience he's learned from that. Featuring 27 artists, ranging from a broad spectrum of performance, it is also likely to be the biggest celebration of queer, trans, and intersex Black people and people of color, QTIBPoC, talent in the country. It's a seminal and historical moment for sure, Darren explains. As people of color, we are always a minority, but this show is unapologetic. It's a massive show that gives us that space and kudos. Manchester just feels like the right place for something like this. I don't give a damn. I do not think that this show could have happened anywhere else, just because of that Manchester spirit. And Darren is also keen to highlight that the show is not just about Manchester artists. It's about artists who have found themselves in the city through different journeys and experiences. I specially curated the cast with who I think are the best of the best, Darren explains. Of course, it's all subjective, but the talent level is exceptional. Every performer has made it through circumstances that just didn't want them to be able to be who they are. But not all of the artists are from Manchester. Some have found their home and a safe space here. There are a few who have come from quite difficult places. I know every single person's backstory and to be celebrated in this show, and on that stage is just going to be a phenomenal moment for every single person. When I first started, I was struggling to find performers, but there's been a massive explosion of Black, Asian, and trans talent. Now, it's like I lift a rock and there's a new QTIBPoC artist emerging. Some of the artists taking place, in addition to Darren and Rikki, include Jalebi Bebe, Joshua Adedoyin, Tolu Ajayi, Saki Yew, Bola Olagunju, and Lucky Roy Singh. There will also be a band and a string quartet from the Untold Orchestra to add to proceedings too. Some of the dancers are coming off big shows whilst others have never ever had a chance like this before, Darren explains. What makes a show like this so special is that you will never really tell who has years of training. Talent doesn't have a class, it doesn't have a race or an agenda. The dancers and the fire they have is from somewhere deeper than within themselves. It's a release. The cabaret show will be divided into different sections, all offering different takes on runway performance. We dress, we sing, we dance, we strip, we lip sync, and we are family. And the winner of each category will be chosen by the audience.